Edinburgh Castle sits on a volcanic plug called Castle Rock that towers over the Scottish capital. It's one of the most visited historical attractions in Scotland, and it's a site that neither locals nor visitors can get enough of. American illustrator Cassandra Hamilton has lived in Edinburgh for the past 6 years. She often sketches the castle.
You know, no matter where you are in Edinburgh, there's the castle. You know, you can see it as you're sort of walking in between the neighborhoods and between the streets and between the buildings. You know, you see it sort of, almost sort of following you around.
And the view from Castle Rock isn't too bad either. Archaeologists have traced human occupation of the site back to the Iron Age. There has been a royal castle here since at least the 12th century. The complex has been besieged, destroyed and rebuilt many times over, and is now a collection of buildings from different eras, like the 400-year-old Royal Palace. Cassandra Harrison's favourite place is St Margaret's Chapel. The oldest surviving building in Edinburgh dates back to the 12th century. You can still get married there today.
It definitely feels like you're walking around the streets of a very old town, you know, with the chapel and the different buildings. And it's fun to sort of imagine what it must have been like hundreds of years ago, wandering around here, and what it must have been like to live here.
Edinburgh Castle has also been a British Army garrison and houses the Scottish National War Memorial. It also keeps alive a tradition that goes back to 1861, when ships depended on it to set their maritime clocks, the firing of the 1 o'clock gun. To this day, a cannon shot is set off every day except Sundays.
Sort of when you're walking around town and you hear the big boom, you know, after living here for a while, you know, that's the 1 o'clock gun. And even though you've heard it a lot, it still sort of makes you jump. But it's, I don't know, it's just kind of I think it's kind of a cool tradition. I think it's important to kind of keep these things going.
Some 1.6 million tourists visit the castle annually. The Great Hall was completed in 1511 for James IV of Scotland. But he didn't have much time to enjoy it. He died in battle 2 years later after declaring war on England. The Esplanade is the most visited part of the castle, not least because it's free. Many Euromax viewers have been there and sent us their pictures.
Didn't go inside, only saw it from outside, but it's very beautiful and impressive.
Yeah, not many cities have like something as old as this right in the middle that's easy for tourists to get to.
Very, you know, picturesque. It reminds you of like the movies and stuff like that.
It's the most recognized place in Scotland, and it, you know, you can see it from anywhere.
Those who even want to see it when they're back at home can treat themselves to a snow globe or one of the many other souvenirs on sale in the many stores. Edinburgh Castle has inspired many a photographer, painter and postcard writer. Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling famously wrote some of her books while sitting in a cafe with a view of the castle. Cassandra Hamilton turns her sketches into prints and sells limited editions of them at galleries.
Wherever you're sitting, whichever, if you're outside or if I'm outside in a park or in a cafe, the face of the castle changes. So this view is completely different than if I were to be sitting in a different part of town. From this vantage point, it just looks like this giant, you know, pushing its way up through the earth, looking down at everything.
Edinburgh Castle, a historical landmark with many facets.